The news that one of Fox News's most enduring and esteemed personalities is battling a life-threatening illness has shocked and alarmed the network's viewers. Veteran anchor Eric Shaw, who has been with Fox News since its inception, revealed that a previous journalism assignment might have permanently altered his life. Sadly, Shaw's tale is not unique, and he is not the only adored Fox News host who has been given a fatal diagnosis. Shaw Eric, senior correspondent and seasoned Fox News anchor Eric Shaw, has made a startling revelation that brings to mind one of the worst periods in American history. Shaw, a prominent member of Fox News since the network's founding in 1996 and renowned for covering significant domestic and global events, disclosed during a live broadcast commemorating the 24th anniversary of the terrorist acts of September 11, 2001, that has been received a cancer diagnosis connected to ground zero hazardous exposure. As journalists, first responders, and recovery workers grappled with the wreckage and its aftermath, he covered the attack's aftermath from Lower Manhattan, where he conducted this story. Shaw, who is currently in his late 60s, has disclosed that he is currently facing a fatal diagnosis. He described how, as one of the countless people who inhaled the dust and pollutants that engulfed Lower Manhattan in the days and weeks following the Twin Towers collapse, he initially experienced respiratory issues, including bronchitis. When he was diagnosed with cancer, which was probably brought on by that exposure, his entire world fell apart. In addition to Shaw, many of survivors and responders are also coping with health problems that surfaced decades after the bombings. Today, Shaw's predicament is a component of a far more significant public health issue. Since then, tens of thousands of people who were exposed to the poisonous debris from 9/11s have reported developing cancer and other ailments. Shaw disclosed his disease and said he had been covered by the World Trade Center Health Program, a federal program that offers care, treatment, and monitoring to anyone impacted by 9/11-related illnesses. In order to illustrate how complicated his lethal illness had become, he said that he carried two distinct diagnoses under this music program. However, Shaw claims that he is lucky in comparison to the other victims and first responders who died that day due to considerably more serious illnesses. Shaw's statements serve as a reminder of the assault's ongoing human cost. He paid tribute to the almost 3,000 people who died on September 11th alone, as well as the thousands more who have died from diseases brought on by smoke and toxic dust. However, Eric Shaw is not the only well-liked Fox News host facing a fatal prognosis due to a startling illness that has viewers on edge of their seats. Another well-known anchor has been admitted to the hospital. Roberts, John, after being diagnosed with a severe case of malaria, a potentially fatal disease spread by mosquitoes. Veteran Fox News anchor and America Reports co-host John Roberts has been embroiled in an unexpected and critical health struggle. Earlier this year, the 68-year-old broadcaster, who is well known for providing afternoon news to millions of viewers and hosting important events for Fox News Channel, disclosed that he was hospitalized and unable to perform his normal duties while battling the illness. Shortly after returning from a 2-week family vacation in malaria-endemic Indonesia, Roberts experienced a health scare. He began to feel particularly bad approximately 10 days after arriving back in the United States. During a broadcast, what had begun as weariness and muscle aches soon turned into uncontrollable shaking. Roberts initially believed it was just the flu, but as the pain and symptoms worsened, he went to the hospital. A rheumatologist recommended that he go to the emergency hospital after blood tests showed dangerously low levels of white blood cells and platelets. On August 25, doctors finally diagnosed him with malaria. In the United States, malaria is uncommon. States that it is a dangerous illness that can be lethal if left untreated. An estimated 2,000 cases are detected in the U.S. each year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and are associated with travel to impacted areas abroad. Roberts described the severity of his symptoms, stating that they were worse than anything he had ever felt in his life. This demonstrates how quickly even the healthiest people can contract malaria. At that moment, he was unable to host America Reports. As Roberts concentrated on her recuperation and treatment, Sandra Smith and fellow Fox News anchor Trace Gallagher filled in. On social media, he expressed gratitude to his coworkers and the medical staff. Another Fox News host recently disclosed that she has had a fatal illness for years while battling malaria. Dean Janis, longtime Fox News senior meteorologist and Fox and Friends host Janice Dean, is currently dealing with a severe and persistent health issue, which has forced her to leave the network and concentrate on her recuperation. She has disclosed that she has been dealing with a fatal diagnosis for years. Dean joined the Fox News Channel in 2004 and has been a mainstay of the morning show for over 20 years. However, she just announced that she is taking an indefinite leave of absence from both her online and on-air responsibilities due to health difficulties that need time to heal. At that point, the public learned that Dean had been battling a protracted health issue for more than 2 decades, with her diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, a chronic autoimmune illness that affects the central nervous system. Shortly after joining Fox News, Dean developed strange neurological symptoms and severe exhaustion, which the physicians linked to multiple sclerosis (MS) in 2005. When she first learned of the diagnosis, she was taken aback and had to face all the unknowns surrounding her illness, particularly since it would have an impact on her future and profession. According to interviews, she took the tough choice to keep working despite her fear of the problems posed by the illness. The severity of multiple sclerosis varies, ranging from mild to incapacitating. Treatments can only control the symptoms and reduce the progression. There is no cure. As a visible voice for patients with MS, Dean has been undergoing frequent, the fourth infusion treatments to lessen flare-ups and spreads awareness of MS, which is sometimes referred to as the invisible sickness. She has underlined how MS has influenced her outlook on life, family, and health, even if it may be crippling and unpredictable. Dean has acknowledged the love she has received from both fans and her coworkers at Fox News, and she has stated that she would return to the network as soon as her health permits. After giving birth, another Fox contributor is coping with a startling diagnosis. Tim the cat. In early 2025, cat Tim, a well-known Fox News contributor and co-host of the late-night comedy show Goodfeld, discovered she had breast cancer only hours before giving birth to her first child. This was a shocking and very personal health issue. When Tim disclosed that she was diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer, a form of the disease detected at its earliest and most treatable stage only 15 hours before she went into delivery, many were astonished. It was a startling revelation because nobody anticipates learning they have cancer just before giving birth. The diagnosis came at a startling time. When Tim's doctor broke the news that would permanently alter her life, she was really a week past her due date and totally preoccupied with getting ready for the arrival of her kid. Despite the shock, she quickly discussed treatment options with her medical team, and the doctor suggested a double mastectomy as the most sensible course of action. Later that evening, she went into spontaneous labor after dealing with scheduling appointments and talking about cancer treatment. Despite the emotional shock, Tim managed to use comedy to establish a connection with her medical team. She made a joke with the nurses about how she may announce her combined cancer and birth. Although she freely acknowledged that it wasn't a pleasant day, she was thankful that her newborn boy had arrived safely and that the cancer had been discovered as soon as possible. Tim welcomed the next phase of her life, becoming a mother and undergoing cancer treatment with hope. In the meantime, another Fox News anchor, this time she and her husband, Shannon Bream, are coping with a startling diagnosis. Prominent Fox News anchor and Fox News Sunday host Shannon Bream has disclosed that she has been dealing with some serious personal health issues, as well as family hardship. For about 20 years, Bream has been the main voice on Fox as the network's chief legal correspondent. However, you won't believe that she was juggling her own health issues while helping her husband deal with a diagnosis that would change his life. Bream went through a difficult time with inexplicable, crippling eye discomfort that interfered with her sleep and day-to-day activities before she even became well known on Fox News Sunday. She suffered from excruciating pain, regular migraines, and periods of double vision that left her frantic for hours for nearly 2 years. Her early medical visits were ineffective, and many of them even rejected her, claiming that her agony was psychological rather than physical. Because of the physical and psychological toll the health issue imposed on her, and because she was unsure of the reason of her condition, the suffering even led her to ponder suicide. Bream eventually located a doctor who determined that she had a type of chronic chorial erosion and a related disorder. Despite the lack of a cure, the illness can be controlled with the right care, providing comfort and hope after years of frustration. Bream's family has previously experienced severe medical hardship throughout this personal health struggle. Her husband, Sheldon Bream, was diagnosed in his 20s with a brain tumor the size of a golf ball prior to their marriage in the mid-1990s. Months after experiencing some peculiar symptoms, he made this discovery. Fortunately, the tumor that was removed during his lengthy 9-hour operation turned out to be benign. However, several issues persisted, such as facial paralysis and a challenging recuperation, which put both his physical and the couple's mental fortitude to the test. Bream said how the experience damaged their relationship and even put their marriage preparations on hold. In the end, it deepened their relationship and influenced her conception of faith. Bream has maintained a healthy balance between her work obligations and personal experiences during her tenure at Fox News, particularly her encounter with pain. In the meantime, another Fox News host is coping with heartbreaking news after learning that his son has been diagnosed with a fatal illness. Bret Baier. Veteran Fox News anchor Bret Baier, host of Special Report with Bret Baier, and chief political correspondent for the network, has managed to juggle a prominent journalism career with extremely personal family issues. Baier has led viewers through the most significant political moments in the country for nearly 20 years. His son, Paul's lengthy struggle with congenital heart disease, however, is arguably the most startling tale. Paul came into the world under insurmountable obstacles. Physicians found that his heart was functioning against itself due to a complicated combination of anatomical issues, including 5 different congenital abnormalities. Paul underwent his first open-heart surgery a few days after his birth. This delicate procedure was crucial to his survival. He underwent repeated catheter treatments and open-heart operations during his youth and teens. When a golf ball-sized aneurysm was discovered close to Paul's heart during what appeared to be a regular examination for a cold in 2024, the Baier family's story took yet another catastrophic turn. It would have been extremely deadly if this aneurysm had burst. Paul was a teenager when the doctors advised him to have surgery right away. He had to have an emergency open-heart procedure for 10 hours. One of the terrifying events of the family's protracted extreme journey, the successful surgery was his 5th major procedure. Speaking on his son's experience, Baier disclosed that in addition to his medical difficulties, the family gained valuable insight into perspective, thankfulness, and normalcy. Paul has persisted in attending school, participating in sports, and living the typical teenage life despite the years of hospital stays and surgery. Paul is at last fully recovered as of 2025, and he is eager to start college. In the meantime, another Fox News anchor is battling multiple sclerosis, just like Janice Dean Willis, Jerry. When veteran Fox Business Network anchor and lifelong journalist Jerry Willis received a stage 3 breast cancer diagnosis in April 2016, she faced one of the most difficult challenges of her life. Willis, who hosts The Willis Report and is renowned for her astute reporting on consumer and personal finance concerns, was pursuing a hard job when she first became aware of something strange about her health. She discovered that the disease was further advanced than she had first believed after seeing some unusual symptoms and seeking medical help. This ultimately resulted in a difficult surgical and therapeutic path. Willis's diagnosis was unexpected because it followed what appeared to be a typical phase of his life. It quickly became evident that she would require severe treatment after her breast cancer was diagnosed as lobular, a less common type that can be difficult to identify with routine mammograms. Willis underwent a mastectomy of her right breast during the ensuing months, and she then underwent intense chemotherapy for 4 months. She even underwent daily radiation therapy for several weeks after using some of the strongest medications available for cancer treatment. She promised viewers that she would return while taking a long medical break from Fox Business to concentrate on her recuperation. As her hair grew back, she wore a wig when she returned to the air. She also disclosed her new hairdo during one of her episodes, which was a significant turning point in her recuperation. Willis has been open about her experience with cancer, including the psychological and physical difficulties she had. She has also used her position to urge women to get regular mammogs and to be mindful of their breast health. Many individuals found resonance in Willis's candidness about her experience with cancer, particularly the painful reality of losing her hair while undergoing chemotherapy and the side effects of treatment. Following her course of treatment and reconstructive surgery, physicians declared that Willis had no cancer by the end of 2017, allowing her to resume her job. Her experience not only strengthened her fortitude, but also made her a champion for health screening and early detection, highlighting the significant impact that prompt medical attention and awareness can have. In the meantime, there's more terrible news. A Fox News pundit has passed away. Kelly Powers, MD doctor. After a valiant and protracted fight with one of the most aggressive types of cancer, Kelly Powers, a well-known medical analyst and contributor to Fox News and Fox Business, died on December 2024 at the age of 45. Through her appearances on shows like Red Eye, Fox and Friends, as well as The Willis Report, Powers gained widespread recognition among viewers for her observations on American health, wellness, and medical issues. When Powers experienced a seizure in July 2020, medical professionals determined that she had glioblastoma, a very aggressive and challenging type of brain cancer. This marked the beginning of Powers' health issues. She underwent several rounds of radiation therapy, chemotherapy, and immunotherapy in the years after her diagnosis, which caused the disease to go into remission. She also underwent 3 brain surgeries. However, in 2024, the cancer returned and took her life. Her journey was characterized by incredible grit and resiliency. Powers struggled with several serious health conditions in addition to her battle with cancer. She actually suffered a heart attack on the spot during a Fox Business show about heart health symptoms in women early in her public advocacy career. Despite her personal physical struggles, she demonstrated her dedication to medical education in that bizarre encounter. Because of Powers' profound personal tale and professional integrity, many people found resonance in her story. Despite her sickness, she was grateful for the milestone of welcoming her son Bennett in 2021 during a period of remission. In this heartbreaking instance, a cherished Fox News anchor lost her life due to a fatal diagnosis. In the meantime, it was disclosed that another Fox News commentator was dealing with another setback with his son, Brit Hume. A defining figure in political journalism and analysis for a long time is Brit Hume, the longtime chief political analyst for Fox News Channel and former host of the Special Report with Brit Hume. He was regarded as one of the network's most recognized figures due to his cool delivery and astute observations. However, beneath the calm exterior is a very personal tale of loss that changed his outlook on life and religion. Hume's son, Alexander Sandy Hume, Jr., a talented journalist for The Hill, committed himself in February 1998 at the age of 28. This music tragedy left Hume and his family in deep sorrow. The National Press Club established the Sandy Hume Memorial Award for Excellence in Political Journalistic in his son's honor, after the loss was extensively covered in the journalistic community. Hume was already well known in the news business at the time, having joined Fox News in 1996 as managing editor for Washington, and shortly after that as the anchor of a special report. However, the emotional anguish of losing his son led to a period of introspection that strengthened his Christian faith. Hume, who had long identified as a Christian and was raised in the Episcopal Church, characterized his religious life prior to the tragedy as mainly notional. He later described in interviews how the shock of Sandy's passing forced him to confront issues of pain, purpose, and faith, which in turn solidified faith as a major aspect of his life in a way that had never been the case before. Looking back on that trying time, Hume told interviewers that he was kept going by the outpouring of sorrow from coworkers, viewers, and even complete strangers across the nation, as well as by a sense of God's presence during the suffering. He claimed that throughout those grieving weeks, he saw God's face in the kindness of people, and he was inspired to live out his Christian faith in a way that went beyond simple cultural affiliation by that encounter. Although these adored Fox News anchors have become well known for their reporting and delivery, their lives haven't always been easy. Rather, they deal with startling illnesses and diagnoses. Whether their loved ones or themselves are coping with it. Which of these diagnoses, cancer or multiple sclerosis, shocked you the most? Please share your opinions in the comments section. Thank you for viewing, and we hope to see you in the future video.